Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Bryant, Rebecca Smith in today for Barbara. The news continues at 12:30. We're learning more about a Pulaski County man charged with the murder of his girlfriend. State police tracked down 35-year-old Johnny Hendricks overnight. He was hiding out at a relative's home in Leslie County.
Police say he killed 34-year-old Monica Wells. Her body was found in a sinkhole in a wooded area near her home yesterday, a day after she was reported missing. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is live in Somerset with more on our top story at 12:30.
And the body of 34-year-old Monica Wells is at the state medical examiner's office in Frankfort. We are told that an autopsy is taking place there. Well, actually, that autopsy will take place tomorrow. It was going to take place today. Now that autopsy will take place tomorrow. Now, the coroner says he can tell she was the victim of blunt force trauma, but the exact cause of death will not be known until tomorrow. Hendricks was arrested late last night at a relative's home in Leslie County. Police say he assaulted Wells. That happened in front of a child of Hendricks early Tuesday morning. Both children were told to leave. They found refuge at another relative's home. Wells' body was found in a sinkhole late yesterday, and now Hendricks is charged with murder.
Monica was a good person. She is well liked, and she would do anything for anybody. And she loved her kids, and she tried her best to protect them. That's why she made Aiden leave.
And now I spent the morning at the Pulaski County Courthouse looking at Hendricks' arrest record. It goes back to 1999. Oh, just 2 years ago, he was charged with robbery and assault. Now, for some reason, those charges were dismissed, but he also faced more recent charges of domestic violence, emergency protective order, as well as other charges of assault. We're learning much more about him and about Monica Wells. We'll tell you more about that coming up later on today. But for now, in Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
We do want to mention Hendricks declined our request for an interview. He will be arraigned tomorrow.
Today, police released dramatic surveillance pictures from a bank robbery in Lexington yesterday. The holdup yesterday afternoon at the Fifth Third Bank on Versailles Road. In the pictures, you can see two masked men barging into the bank and with a gun drawn, demanding money. And in one of the pictures, you can see someone in the bank lying face down. After the robbery, police searched the area, but the suspects got away. No arrests have been made after an early morning home invasion today. A woman told police that she woke up to find a man inside her Crescent Avenue home just before 5 o'clock this morning near the UK campus in Lexington. Police say he was startled by the woman and took off running, but not before stealing 3 purses from the home. 4 women live in that house near the UK campus.
Well, we could learn some more today about the murder of a Kentucky teacher. A preliminary hearing is underway right now for Kevin Howard in Fleming County. Police say he killed Randall Russ and, with the help of Charles Black, dumped the body. Russ was a Grant County teacher and professor who disappeared back in August. State police also want to know if Howard is connected to a woman's disappearance. Norma Brown's family says she's been missing for weeks and was last seen with Howard. A Madison County woman who admits to killing her baby sister will learn her fate this afternoon. Jessica Markham was caring for 9-month-old Bella Rose last year when she says she suffocated the child. She was 17 years old at the time. Markham was charged with murder and faced life in prison, but she pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of first-degree manslaughter. Her recommended sentence is 12 years in prison. Well, the country's latest Ebola patient from Dallas is now in isolation at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta.
That's one of 4 specialized facilities in the United States equipped to handle viruses like Ebola. Meanwhile, the hospital where 2 healthcare workers caught Ebola while treating a dying patient is defending its procedures and protocols. CBS's Omar Villafranca is there with the latest.
29-year-old Amber Vincent and other health officials were wearing full hazmat suits while boarding a chartered flight from Dallas to Atlanta last night. But an unidentified man on the tarmac was not wearing protective gear as he walked within feet of the crew. CBS News chief medical correspondent John LaPook says, big mistake.
No sense whatsoever. That's not okay. I mean, fortunately, Nurse Vincent is in a protective suit, so maybe there is no virus on the outside there, but that's not protocol, that's for sure.
Vincent caught Ebola while treating Thomas Duncan, who died last week at Texas Health Presbyterian in Dallas. Days later, she flew from Dallas to Cleveland even after reporting a fever to the CDC. But health officials let her board, believing she was not high risk. CDC officials now say she should not have been allowed to fly. The Frontier plane Vincent took back to Dallas Monday made 5 additional trips before being taken out of service. The crew from her flight is now taking 21 days of paid quarantine, and the CDC is contacting passengers. Officials here at Texas Health Presbyterian are defending their procedures. They say workers followed federal guidelines when Duncan arrived and wore what was considered appropriate gear. There are now more stringent standards. Last night, workers disinfected a Cleveland school because a teacher may have had contact with an Ebola patient. 2 other Cleveland schools are closed because an employee may have been on the same Frontier plane as the Dallas nurse. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
And within the last half hour, we have just learned that the first healthcare worker infected with Ebola in Texas is now going to be transferred to a specialized facility in Maryland for additional treatment. A scam alert for storm victims in Scott County. Leaders want you to be on the lookout there for home repair ripoffs. High winds and hail damaged dozens of homes in Scott County during the storms last week. An EF1 tornado touched down near Stamping Ground. The Better Business Bureau is now providing some pamphlets for storm victims to help with repairs.
This helps narrow down your choices of people you can trust to use if you do need repairs. All the folks coming from out of town, some of them may be perfectly legitimate, but we want you to check them out. But why not keep it local and ethical? We have lots of roofing companies, siding companies, gutter companies that have committed to our standards.
You can pick up that pamphlet at the courthouse, the sheriff's office, or the police department, also at Lowe's there in Georgetown.
Well, good news for drivers. Gas prices continue to fall in the Lexington area. Look at this. We found a gallon of regular unleaded as low as $2.87 at some gas stations in Lexington. The average is still about $3.02. Prices have been trending down for the last few weeks. According to GasBuddy.com, the last time the average price of gas was in the 280s in Lexington was actually in December of 2011, so it's been quite a while.
Well, it has, but it's good to see. Well, renowned Kentucky pianist Jay Flippin has died. The 68-year-old passed away this morning after a long battle with cancer. Flippin was a professor emeritus at Morehead State University. He taught music at the school for more than 30 years. Flippin also served as an accompanist and an arranger for the Lexington Singers since 1976. He composed more than 300 radio and television jingles and produced or performed on more than 200 albums. He'll be missed. Well, exercise may be good for your mental health, and also find out the best treatments for patients with lung cancer.
Ebony Williams has details in this Better Living report.
A new study finds removing the entire lung for patients with early-stage lung cancer may increase the chances of survival compared to removing just part of the lung. Researchers at the University of Texas also found that in some patients, specialized radiation therapy may offer the same survival benefits as removing the entire lung. There's more evidence linking psoriasis and hypertension. Psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory disease of the skin. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found people with moderate to severe psoriasis have a greater likelihood of hypertension compared to those without the condition. And exercising can reduce the risk of depression. A London study shows that being physically active 3 times a week reduces the odds of depression by about 16%. And those are some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.
Hope you'll stay with us on WKYT News. There's a lot more coming up. All right, zombie paintball, haunted hay rides, a preview of Fright Nights, Kentucky, and one jumped out on me just a minute ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll check that out.
Plus, she's a favorite in Lexington, and today she's in studio. We will chat with comedian Etta May.
Always fun, Micah.
She's literally in the studio, sitting right there, making us laugh the whole show long. And you would love to see that interview coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk weather, and that comes up to you in about 2 minutes.